Welcome to episode 75, a message from. We're your hosts. I'm Alyson.
I'm Edward.
And I have a story.
Okay.
It's so bad. I'm cursed. Okay. So, as you know, I've been in Michigan for like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 full weeks. Mm-hmm. They're on vacation. You look so bored.
I woke up 15 minutes ago.
Same.
Like on the dot.
But my eyes are popping out of my head because of the horrors that I experienced.
Oh my God. Okay.
So
all right.
I get home. It's a bad drive, right? 7.5 hour drive.
Was it
7
raining?
hour and 45 minutes. There was traffic. There was construction. There was accidents. There was rain. It was bad times.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, I'm dying. I'm ready to be home, right? Run to the grocery store, pick up like a handful of essential items that I'm thinking I'm going to need so I can eat dinner last night. Mm-hmm. So I walk up to my door and there's these 2 pizza boxes sitting in front of my door. I'm like, oh, someone ordered delivery and they delivered it to the wrong house. Like, this is not the first time this has happened.
Okay.
They're sitting there so nice. They're like facing my door, their little receipt on top, like, here's your delivery. Okay. And I'm like, oh, I wonder whose food that's supposed to be. So I open my door, put my bags on. I've got like 5 bags on me. Like, I'm strapped up because I didn't want to make a bunch of trips. Uh-huh. And I look at the pizza and then it hits me. I'm like, I've been gone for over 2 weeks. How long has this pizza been sitting here? I look at the receipt. It's been sitting there since July 15th.
Oh my God. What day did you leave again?
The 12th.
Oh,
it's been there for a full 15 days. I'm like, this has got to be disgusting.
Oh no.
It smelled so bad. The receipt said like double pepperoni and chicken or something. I'm like, it's been over 90 degrees regularly. Yeah. This meat has been rotting in this heat for 15 days. Like, I know for a fact maintenance goes around and like cleans up the breezeways and stuff outside the doors regularly. Mm-hmm. You would think, this pizza's been here for 15 days. Maybe nobody wants it. I'm going to throw it away.
How regularly do they come?
At least once a week, if not more.
Interesting.
Besides the fact that there are like 3 other people living on my floor, you would think coming, going every day. They would be like, there's some rotting pizza over there. It's been rotting for 15 days. Yeah. Maybe like we'll do something about it.
Do you know your neighbors?
No, but we've seen each other in passing. We're not friends or anything.
Right, yeah.
But if there was food rotting at someone's door for 15 days, I would maybe be like, knock, knock, are you in there? You've got some rotting pizza on your doorstep.
Yeah, true.
You know? So anyway, I was mad that I had to pick it up to throw it away. Because I'm like, I can't leave this here still. Yeah, so I like put my hands in a trash bag and like grabbed it. And then, like, wrapped the trash bag around it and threw it away.
Smart. Very smart.
You know, it was nighttime. It was raining, so it was kind of dark when I came in. So I just, like, flicked the little hall light on. Didn't think anything of it. But after I get rid of the pizza, I'm noticing, I'm like, there's some bugs in here. Like, on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, maybe just a few bugs got in. I haven't been here for a few weeks. And then I'm noticing, like, a lot of little bugs. Oh, and then I get closer to the floor because I'm like, what is going on? There's a maggot. It's a maggot. It's literally maggots from the rotting pizza have crawled under my door into my apartment. They like.
Oh, yeah. They sort of inchworm their way in.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Whoa, that is worse than I could have expected.
Much worse. So now I'm like, this is disgusting. Disgusting. I'm dying, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, get my bags away, make sure there's nothing on any of my bags, like everything's up on the counters. And I know it's from the pizza because A, I left no food in my house. B, I left no trash in my house. C, I leave for extended vacations frequently.
Yeah, that's never been an issue before.
It's never happened before. So get this. I'm freaking out. Okay, I'm like, okay, I've got to get the broom. I've got to clean this up. We got to do this. I'm sweating at this point. I'm starving. It's like 7:45 p.m. now after I've discovered this whole thing.
I feel like adrenaline would cut that hunger right in half.
Yeah. And then I hear a buzzing sound. And I'm like, how did a fly get in here? I walk over to my kitchen window, covered in flies.
Yeah.
Covered in flies. So then I spent the next hour and a half killing flies.
Oh.
And every time I thought I got them all, another one would come buzzing by.
Yeah. Trigger warning. Something similar happened to me where we didn't know where all of these flies were coming from in our house, and what was that, senior year of university? And to the point where it was driving me crazy. I can't fathom or put into words how many flies were in our house at any given point. We just didn't know where they were coming from. Tried the traps, tried everything. We even self fumigated the house twice. We had a cat. We had to scurry into a different room. We ran around with things on our faces and just sprayed raid everywhere. And it turned out that just the bottom of our trash can had an unfathomable amount of maggots at the bottom. So yeah, I get it. I can only imagine how many flies were in your house.
And I'm waiting for more. I'm like,
that would mean more maggots.
I know, but I'm like, is it possible that I've killed all of them? We pray. I will say, once I got rid of the trash can that had all the disgusting in it, it all went away. So yeah,
there's hope for you.
Oh my gosh, there's hope. But I'm like, I was fuming. I was like, this really is what I come home to after an 8-hour drive.
Not even a good 8-hour drive.
Not even a good 8-hour drive. It was bad. There was one point where my GPS told me to hey, we found a faster route for you because of this accident. So it had me get off the highway, but just get right back on the other entrance ramp. Because it made it seem like the crash was right in between the two ramps, right?
Right.
It wasn't, because I get off the highway, do my little turn, whatever, go to the entrance ramp across the street, and the entrance ramp is all backed up because none of that traffic's moving either. I sat there for 10 minutes maybe before I was like, we're not doing this. Cars were just driving down the ramp the wrong direction. I was like, okay, bye. I'll find a new way home. I was searching on my map, does this road connect?
Wait, so she gave you a detour that didn't help at all?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
But once I got off and started driving on my own, I was like, I'll figure it out. And then it obviously recalculated to a detour that did help. But I was driving on these country roads past horses. I was
Where were
hey
you?
Guys, what's up? I was in Maryland, but it was Western Maryland. So I'm like, I know I'll get home, I'll get back to the highway. It's just going to be a route that I've never taken before.
Yeah, it's better than being in Ohio and having to get to the turnpike in PA somehow.
I felt like I was in Ohio for ages. So much traffic. I'm like, where are you all going on a Sunday afternoon?
That's crazy too, because the Ohio turnpike is nice, which is ironic.
It's nice, and Pennsylvania's is too. We've talked about this before because she's expensive. But usually the traffic's not that bad. Expensive. But yeah. Because of the traffic coupled with all the construction and then that accident, it was just
hot mess.
No bueno. Hot mess. And then I came home to an even hotter mess on my doorstep.
Yeah, you can have a nightmare.
Oh,
A
disasters. So I didn't even eat dinner. I'm like, whatever. There's no hunger left in me. Whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
I would
then
probably
another-
just, I don't even know if I could sleep, to be honest, but there's a door. So you can close the doors.
I think because, well, I showered. I felt so disgusting. I showered,
Right.
and then I think because I couldn't find any more evidence of any more flies, I felt a little bit better about going to sleep. And I scrubbed all my floors with ammonia. And I think I mixed it up a little too strong. I was like,
You have an ammonia
these
just sitting in your
fumes.
house.
yeah, for emergencies like this.
I don't think I've ever bought ammonia.
I've bought it before because, yeah.
Mm.
It's actually really good. It's a really good cleaner because you don't have to worry about it staining things.
Like bleach?
Like bleach, yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe that's why I'm so alert this morning. I'm high on the fumes.
Maybe. I am very unalert. Very low-key. My mother was actually saying she wants to go to Ohio for she said she wanted to go for 2 days to go I think just visit where we used to go in the summers, where my family's from.
Yeah.
Not from, where some family lives. But I was like, what do you want to do there for 2 days?
I mean, unless you're with family, there's not that much to do in Ohio.
Well, it's Tiffin. It's like a small town, right?
Yeah.
So
Tiffin,
not like we're going to Columbus.
birthplace of my grandmother.
Yeah. And we don't talk to any of the family, I think, that lives there anymore. So I was just sort of I mean, I'm down to go and revisit old haunts, but it's that's a day it's worth of activities. So
Yeah.
TBD. On if
Wow.
that happens.
You could always swing by where my family lives in Ohio. Let me just giving out people's locations. Maybe I should.
Maybe you shouldn't do that. Yeah.
I'll tell you off the air.
Is it in Tiffin?
It's not in Tiffin.
Oh.
But you'll have to pass it on the way almost. On the
Pass
turnpike.
almost the whole state, I think.
True.
If I remember correctly, it's been quite some time. I think the last time I was in Tiffin was February or February-ish of my freshman year of high school.
Oh, wow. Long time.
Yeah, that's when my great aunt passed away and we went to her.
Sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it is sad, I
R.I.P.
guess, to
great
say.
aunt.
I told the story so many times that it's not that sad anymore. But
Yeah.
generally a sad topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another stressful story real quick for you.
How many do you... Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's just Stress City this week, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I ordered these new headphones, right?
The ones
back
on your
when I
head?
was not the ones on my head.
Oh.
These are beautiful though. Back when I was trying to find some good wireless headphones for
Oh.
working out and stuff, I was stuck between two pairs. And this one pair, I didn't order them because they were super, super expensive. And I was like, you know what? I can find something for cheaper with good reviews. Well, anyway, the ones that I ended up buying did have
Famous
good
last words.
reviews. Yeah. And I liked them and they were much cheaper, but they don't hold a charge for anything. The charge lasts 2 hours. I'm like, this is the amount of money I spent on these.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So finally, the original ones I was going to buy went on sale this week. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just order them. Let me see if
brand are
they're
they?
better. They're this brand.
Klipsch or whatever.
Clips. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but they've done this team up with my favorite Formula One team, McLaren. And
Is that the other thing on there?
yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, lovely. They're on sale. Let me order them. I didn't think they were going to arrive so quickly. I ordered them just a couple days ago.
Okay.
And I get this message from UPS oh, your package is going to be delivered Saturday, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm coming back Sunday, whatever. So all the delivery companies, here and there, they'll deliver packages to my door. But we have the Amazon package hub. So it's just all these lockers and you get a code. So all the delivery companies use it. Every single one of them. They put the packages in there. They're secure. It's like temp controlled, whatever. They put them in. No big deal. They deliver my expensive freaking headphones right outside my door and just leave them there.
Next to your Maggoty pizza?
Next to the Maggoty pizza when I'm not even here. I'm like, this is lovely. You deliver all the time into the package locker, but when I'm not here and there's a Maggoty pizza on my doorstep, you put my expensive headphones right next to it. So I'm like, those will probably be stolen when I get home. Thankfully, they were not. But I'm like...
Oh, yeah. Apparently no one was paying attention to your door.
Well, no one wanted to go buy that pizza.
True. It was the safest place it could be.
Oh, my gosh. Like, what a disaster.
Well, I wonder why they did that. That's very strange.
It's very strange. Very strange. I don't know.
Are you excited to use your headphones?
I'm so excited to use them. I was going to use them this morning, but there just wasn't time to set everything up.
Yeah, no. It's too hard. The new Bluetooth stuff takes a while.
Yeah. Yep. And, yeah. So that's my life.
It sounds like a hot mess.
It is a hot mess.
Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and hopefully it's less of a mess. Hello, Edward here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to both myself and Alyson. And it would mean even more if you sent us a message at 202-630-4509 or a message from pod@gmail.com. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and throw us a rate and review. 5 stars always feels good. And check us out on amfpod.com for all the little extra content that we have. Now, let's get back into it.
Welcome back. As always, we hope you enjoyed the break. We cooled off a little bit. I'm feeling a little less stressed, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
We have a message from Mara. Mara says, "Hi, Edward and Alyson. I've listened to the episodes about traveling to the south of France and Lake Como, and I've loved hearing about trips to Paris and Madrid, but I'd love to hear you share some unconventional vacation spots that most people wouldn't think of. Thanks."
Sorry,
Thank you,
I need
Mara.
to apologize to the video viewers, but it's so early and I'm still itching all my eyes. My 2 eyes. I can see a lot on camera.
Apologies to Mara for that display.
Yeah.
But this is super interesting. I like this one because I feel like we do talk about a lot of all the super popular places that everyone think of to travel.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I was having trouble coming up with some ideas, but I'm interested to see what you say.
Yeah. I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
So recently, I had some family come to Michigan for a birthday party, and what they wanted to do was they stayed at this hotel in Dearborn, the city of Dearborn, and there's this place called Greenfield Village, and they have this village and museums and like an IMAX theater and stuff, but it's just really funny because as a kid, like everyone in Southeast Michigan goes to Greenfield Village on a field trip. Like sometimes multiple field trips. My aunt has been there like a billion times. And it's crazy too because my aunt is in her 70s. And she was going there for field trips when she was in elementary school. And then I'm obviously in my 30s. I was going there for field trips when I was in elementary school. And kids are still going there today. So it's like long-standing tradition. But
a staple.
It's a staple. And it's funny because I feel like you wouldn't think of that as like a usual vacation spot. But we had so much fun. It was a great time.
It's like a vacation activity? Or are you staying at this place?
So you're not staying at that place, you're staying nearby. So it's like a vacation activity, but there's a lot to do and see in the area because you're also super close to Detroit. So you could go downtown Detroit, you could do like the River Walk, you could do the DIA, Detroit Institute of Arts. You can do all that, but then Greenfield Village is like a 2-day thing at least. So what it is like this old school village, right? And you have a lot of like old houses there, and there's some like farm animals too, I think. Are there farm animals? Am I making that up? I might be making that up. I didn't see any animals.
I don't know.
But you walk through parts of the village that's like the old village, and so it's like what people's houses looked like, and like the storefronts, and there's like an old mill, and all of that stuff from like 18 and 1900s. But they have a lot of like some of it's original and some of it's replica, but buildings where, so like for example, Thomas Edison, like one of his old workshops is there, and you can see a bunch of his inventions and stuff.
Is he from Michigan? Why is that there? Oh, because of the time period? Well,
because of the time period, and because, so, interesting story. We were in his, like, workshop, and there was a worker there talking to us, telling us all the story. The reason all that stuff is there, and it's, like, so popular, is because Henry Ford was obsessed with Thomas Edison. Like,
okay.
Let me just mention, kind of all of this stuff is here because of Henry Ford. Obviously, we know, like, Michigan, Henry Ford's from there, Model T, all that jazz. So Henry Ford was, like, obsessed with Thomas Edison. Who knew? He was like, this is my idol. I love him. He's amazing.
Inventor type thing.
Yeah, inventor, right? And so there's a funny story about a chair, and like Thomas Edison sat in it, and then Henry Ford was like, nobody touch that chair. No one's ever sitting in that chair again. Nail it to the floor where it stands. So the chair is there literally nailed to the floor, and you like can't get near it. Yeah. Ooh. But he had basically had like this whole workshop moved there because he's obsessed with Thomas Edison. There's like a statue of him outside and stuff.
This is at the village?
At the village, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's also, I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but the like precursor to the electric tattoo gun is there.
What is the precursor to the electric tattoo gun?
So it's like this, it looks exactly like it. It's like this electric pen. It's called the something pen. I don't know. I'm really selling this, right?
Yeah.
So it was made for like copywriting. So you could like use this electric pen, and it would poke holes through this piece of, I think, like leather. Or maybe it was wax paper. It was wax paper. Did you know Thomas Edison invented wax paper?
No. I only know he invented the light bulb.
He didn't invent the light bulb. Actually, if you went to Greenfield Village, you would learn about this.
Looks like I'm not going to need to.
He made the filament in the middle that extended the life of the light bulb, because before the light bulb would only generate light for like an hour or two.
Oh,
he was the one who made it extend for a long period of time.
Who invented the light bulb then?
I don't remember his name, they told us, but you know what? It wasn't Thomas Edison, so I said recycling bin.
To the man's name, or clearly not
to
to
the man's
Thomas
name?
Edison?
to the man's name.
Gotcha.
So this pen, this electronic pen, it like pokes holes through a piece of wax paper, and so then you lift a tray up, you put your paper down. If you wanted to print like 100 copies of something, you know, big news in the town, you got to put your flyers up. So you put the paper down, you flap the wax paper over, and you roll this roller dipped in ink over it. And then you've got like, you can just keep making copies. That's what it was made for. And then someone was like,
it was a stencil maker.
Yeah, someone was like, I'm going to stab that in my skin.
What does that have to do with copyright?
Printmaking. Not copyright.
I was like, I don't understand the copyright.
We've established that it's early.
It's so early. But
so early.
Yeah. Okay, I get it now.
So this is like the kind of stuff you'll see in the village. You can go for rides on Model Ts. There's a train that will take you for a ride all around the village. So it's like a lot geared toward kids, but also a lot of very interesting stuff where if you're interested in like museums and history and that kind of stuff,
inventions,
and like tinkering and inventions, it's a place for you. They also have a workshop for glass blowing. And so they're doing demonstrations all day long. Like people are artisans are in there all day long making blown glass, and then the items will be sold in the shops on site. When we were there, they had 2 apprentices, like artists from, I think they were from Germany, and they were just there doing like not an apprenticeship. What's that called when you do like a brief period of time somewhere?
Exchange.
Like they already, not an exchange. I'm gonna think of this word because it's gonna bother me. But they're doing like they already know how to blow glass, right? But they're 2 established artists from Europe, and they're doing like a
residency.
Residency, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
They're right now. So you get to see them blow glass, and then there's someone like kind of talking about the process and how it works and all that jazz. So anyway, lots to do. Lots to see. You can also go to the museum. Right now they have a temporary exhibition where they have all of like the Disney princess and villain costumes there on display. So if you're like a Disney freak or if you have kids, you could go there and check that out. But and then there's
do
like
Disney freaks have kids?
I think they do.
Yeah, they must.
Because then they can pass their Disney obsession on.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, I guess people our age are having kids, so
yeah,
they're out there.
So anyway, to wrap all this up, this is a really unconventional vacation spot that I guess I didn't think of a vacation spot before recently, but there's a lot to do and see, so you should check it out.
Okay.
What's yours?
The only thing I could think of while you were talking was Lancaster, but it's like not unusual. People go there all the time.
People do go there all the time, but I feel like maybe if you're not from around here, would you think to go there?
I would hope not.
I feel like I know a lot of people who've been to Lancaster.
From Michigan?
Yeah.
That would make sense, I guess. It's like not too far.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I don't know, Lancaster's like kind of far for me. It's a little farther from Michigan, but
yeah,
I guess it's
in
like
Pennsylvania, I guess.
Hours. Yeah, it's in Pennsylvania, so it's like easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I went there when I was like a child, and then I visited a few times as an adult, but not like to actual Amish living Lancaster, just actual Lancaster itself.
That's what I was gonna ask. Did you go to the Amish parts?
No, well, as a child we did. Yeah, we went because we were also going to Hershey, which is like very close. It's all close in that area. So it was like a 2-for-1 type drive situation. But then we had to leave early because somebody passed away. There's a lot of passing away happening on this podcast episode.
Wild.
Yeah. But I do remember, and obviously when you're in that area, you like will see people on horses and buggies, which is like so annoying when you're in a car. So annoying.
Oh my gosh. It's really hard being a car behind a horse and buggy.
I can only imagine how rough that would be for you and your inherent road rage.
Well, so the funny thing is, when I was younger, like too young to drive, that was the time that I was getting stuck behind horses and buggies. It was fine for me. I was a passenger. I was like, hey, whatever.
I'm surprised even as a passenger, you weren't like fuming.
Contrary to
my belief,
my behavior these days.
Oh, okay.
When I first started driving, I was very cautious. I didn't go over the speed limit for I couldn't tell you how many years. I was like 80 miles per hour. I don't know her.
Where can you go 80 miles an hour?
Well, legally, nowhere.
Right, yeah, true. I mean, I don't know anything about cars.
Yeah, no. When I first started driving, I was very cautious, obeyed all the rules, and now I'm just like, listen, ain't nobody got time for this. Move on. Yeah,
that's true. Ain't nobody got time. I mean, time is fleeting. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's like unusual. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere in Europe that I would like point out. Someone would be like, oh, there's like I don't know, vacation spot, but like a vacation activity.
Yeah.
It's like off the beaten path.
My mind did not go to Europe at all. I think because,
All the weird shits in the United States.
well, yeah, true. We've got the weirdest things like largest ball of yarn and like all these weird random roadside attractions.
Yeah.
But I think because lately, like the last several years, all these like off the beaten path things have become so popular that I'm like, nothing's really off the beaten path anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Everywhere that you would label that, people are already talking about and have been talking about for the last few years now, I feel like. So
that's a good point.
It's not unusual or different anymore.
I was thinking of like an unusual-ish activity that some friends of mine did, like in Pittsburgh a week ago. Mm-hmm. A week ago. Yeah, it was last weekend. They like went to this church, which I've like driven by like a million times, right across the river in Millville, and which in hindsight is like such a funny name now that I'm like older.
Millville.
Yeah. Very funny for specifically Pittsburgh. But anyway, Millville, been through it a million times. There's a church called like St. Nicholas's Parish. And they went and did like a mural tour. And I was like, it's very random. And inside it has all these like super socialist, like not typical religious iconography, like all over it, done by some like Czech artist in the 30s. And I was like, oh, that's so random. Like they showed me some pictures, like very cool, 100% not what you were expecting. Like, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I've never known about this. Like, you know, lived in Pittsburgh, well, obviously as a child, but like, why would I know this as a child? But also like been around it enough that like maybe I would hear something, and also was like here for university and yada yada. And I like told my parents about it, and they were like, oh yeah, we've been to like a few weddings there, like blah 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 blah. And I was like, did no one think to tell me about this before
Apparently
like last
not.
week? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, isn't it cool? And I was like, I haven't been. I just saw pictures.
Hidden gems of Pittsburgh. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking of things like that. But then also this couple, they were also saying how they were going to a, and I didn't think of this as like a typically like, I don't say Western PA, but like, you know, this area of the United States just activity. They're going to like a what are they called? A monster truck derby or like a
monster truck show? Like a rally?
No, like one of those like where they
Demolition derby?
Demolition derby.
Demolition derby.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, interesting. And they're like, yeah, we've never been to one before, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is that a thing that like
they're super
you
popular.
should do over here? And I was like, I guess so. Like I've been to a few of them growing up.
In Ohio too.
Yeah. I was like, it's not just Western PA. It's like definitely the whole like conglomerate of
Midwest
shit near
area.
the
Yeah.
lakes.
Rust
and I was
Belt.
like, interesting activity. I would love to know their thoughts on it. I have to ask.
You have to ask and then update us. I don't know if I've been to a demolition derby, but I've definitely been to a monster. I might have. I don't remember, but I've definitely been to a monster truck rally, and I got to ride in one of the trucks.
Oh, I've been to demolition derbies and I've been to monster truck demolition derbies.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, which seems like counterintuitive because like it's a very big construction. It's a big project, and you just smash it to bits. But hey, people love it. And as a child, I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I remember eating an elephant ear and loving that.
Elephant ears are great.
Yeah, they are. I don't think I would eat one now as an adult.
I might. Why
they're
not?
just so big.
You only live once.
I know.
The ear.
And it might be shorter depending on how many of those ears you have.
It'll be much shorter depending on how many elephant ears you eat.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that helped Mara. Is she planning on going somewhere? I can't remember what she said.
I don't know if she's planning on it. She didn't say if she was planning or...
She's a curious mind.
Just curious.
Well, I hope we
curious
satiated her curious mind with things dating from the 1800s and back.
Yeah, somehow we both ended up on like very old school history stuff in the Midwest. So
old ways of living.
Everybody come to the Midwest.
I don't know if Pennsylvania is so weird because it's like the Midwest, but it's not.
Yeah, which everyone come to the Rust Belt.
Yeah, the Rust Belt. I'm like,
have they come up with a new name for that yet? Like,
I don't know. Someone also recently was talking about the Rust Belt. And I was like, Pittsburgh, Diamond of the Rust Belt.
It's such a sad name. So like, we don't want to be rusty anymore. Let's come up with a new name.
Well, the infrastructure is very rusty as well.
This is true.
All right. Thank you, Mara, for sending in a message. You can also send in one just like she did at 202-630-4509 if you feel so inclined. Or at a message from pod@gmail.com. Check us out on amfpod.com for extra content. Rate and review wherever you're listening to us, or throw us a like and a subscribe. And check us out on social media. You can find us everywhere in the show notes and at amfpod.com. Goodbye.
Bye.